Hello, my name is Jaggard. I am here with great pleasure and the honour of having been invited to exhibit here with a solar exhibition at the Purdue Gallery here at Bridgewater College in late September through mid-October of 2020. I'm going to record the work on the wall for my own purposes, mainly because this exhibition is not able to be open to the public due to COVID conditions. The students of the college can enter, as can members of the public if they are choosing to come to the library, which is open to the public. Anyway, I wanted to just record it, and so I'm going to now walk around the exhibition and not talk about the work, but just give anyone who chooses to watch this an overview of what the space, this beautiful new gallery looks like, and how honoured I am to have my work inside it. Thank you. This is my statement posted on the wall here, somewhat too small, I think, for anyone to read, but there it is. The exhibition is called A State of Flux, which for those of us in late September 2020, indicates all sorts of different things. It indicates the state of the world, the state of this nation, the state of our many things political and personal, and of course the other thing for me as an artist is that it also relates to the medium of vitreous enamel on metal, in this case copper, which uses flux as one of its mediums. So it was kind of an appropriate triple meaning for me to use this title. I'll just walk my way through these pieces of work here, and just overview says that they are all 12 inches square and they are all vitreous enamel on copper. Brief introduction to the medium. It's sifted powdered glass that is placed onto the surface of the copper by various means, and then each colour is fused onto the copper, one colour at a time, mainly, through a process of firing in a kiln at around about 1500 Fahrenheit for about 90 seconds or so. In a couple of these pieces there are the addition of liquid enamel, which in the case of the one we're looking at now, called After the Storm, all of the white areas in this are actually liquid enamel that's fused on in the same way. In this one here, it's all of the pieces that are the white linear stuff that was done as a final coat. So there we have those pieces. In fact, 4 of these 5 enamels do have liquid enamel in them. And one of the things that we might notice as I refer to those pieces, there's a reference between those pieces there and these pieces here that are paintings that were done earlier this year. And they are a clear reference to my interest in the work of Indigenous Australians, whose work I've been following for several years and quite influenced by, and not only their culture but also their method of making work. So this is now an acrylic painting on canvas, and it's the last in this series of 5. These pieces here are investigation pieces towards the larger pieces, all on panel. This piece here is a piece I have quite a lot of thought about. It's called Invasion, and for my personal reference, it's representing the way in which the country of Australia was taken over by the British in the late 17th, early 18th century. So just a hint, those little black dots on the right represent the coast of Australia, and a whole load of boats arriving from the west. This piece here, Masked History, actually does have a strong representation to one of the enamels we looked at a moment ago. And this was the first of these pieces that I painted, and it relates very strongly to a painting by an Aboriginal Australian whose work I viewed at the Frolin Museum in Charlottesville that was hosted by the Kluge-Ruhn Museum, which of course is dedicated to bringing the work of Indigenous Australians to the attention here in this country, one of the largest museums in the world outside of Australia, of Australian work. Again, all acrylic on canvas. My work tends to mainly be about layers of history, layers of revealing, layers of palimpsestic process whereby you're not quite sure whether you're hiding or revealing. This piece, the view from my window, is the piece that's used on the poster for this exhibition on canvas. These are two smaller pieces that I should talk about last, maybe, because they're the pieces that are the most recent of all, and they're investigative pieces that are ready to become more in-depth a study. This piece here is called Void, and it's using actually using photographs that are of a place in northern Australia that I visited several years ago. But it's a collaged piece of photograph that's then been fixed into and used as the starting story for this particular pacing here. And this one above, again, these pieces are 12 inches square, so it's a size and shape I'm familiar with because it relates to the 12-inch enamels that I do. And this piece is called Disconnected. Kind of topical subject title. If we think about where we're up to and all sorts of things to do with both politics and the state and health of the nation and the world as a whole. Again, has the collaged pieces within the subject here. This painting here is called Mapping 2. It's more of a title for me as a reference than it is for what one might see, but a painting that went through a lot of thought, manipulation, change, redirection, and probably is a piece that demonstrates quite clearly how my work is about lots of layers, removing, adding, taking away, masking, revealing, and so on. In that piece there. Moving on, this painting here is called New Moon. Could not say that. I have to zoom up like this to get it all on. It's 48 by 36 and deals with time, place, memory, and again has quite a lot of layers and mark making, using masks and drips and painting over and even some drawing and sgraffito that goes on throughout that piece. This little piece here is called Deliberate. It's on panel, which is unusual for me, but I do like working on panel. It's oil on panel, and it has a very quiet presence, I think, that At least I hope it's received in that way. This very tiny burnt orange line that runs up through the piece. Is it an opening or is it a closing? Is it the way in or the way out? Here is a deliberate smudge. And this painting here is called Redacted. Again, a somewhat topical idea maybe, because so much information is not shared. Things that should be shared, things that should be revealed in order for us to have clear disclosure of circumstance, but often hidden and redacted, not for public view, not for us to know. And I will now just swing around and give you a view of the whole room. This is a beautiful gallery, and I wish people could come and see the gallery, not to mention my work, of course. And I thank Bridgewater College for giving me this opportunity to share my work, even if just with myself, because seeing work in the gallery is a very different experience for the artist. One last look at the enamels. Enamel's an unusual medium to when I teach. There it is, right there. That's the library, and there's my work. And to end, I'll just show you this plaque here, from whom the gallery is dedicated. Beverly Perdue, of class of 68 at Bridgewater College, who is a practicing artist herself. Thank you.